Warioware DIY has gotta be my favorite entry in the Warioware series. Like the title suggests, you can make your own microgames, music, and even comics. Dude, I just lost another subscriber! Subscriber? I barely know her. Needless to say, this game is something I can happily revisit every couple of years or so, just to see how my games hold up. And, well, okay, there's no sugarcoating this. Most of these games are being held together by scotch tape and sheer willpower. But after looking back on everything, I realized that I never made any microgames based on The Binding of Isaac. Hell, Super Meat Boy didn't even make the cut either. Oh, but don't worry, I got VVVVVV in there, which is why I'm making this video today. I want to fill a shelf to the brim with custom Isaac games. Why? Because it'd be funny. Like this eraser animation. As I showcase these microgames, I'll be breaking down how some of them work and what I could have done to improve them post-creation. Also, if you enjoy any of my videos, there are some painfully obvious ways to help out this channel, so feel free to do that. So without wasting any more time, let's get into the microgames. Let's start off with the first microgame, Sack. This one has you fighting off horse before they reach Isaac. It's a pretty simple concept for the first microgame, and I also tried to mimic that paper-drawn style that the game's cutscenes has. The functionality of the microgame is super easy too. As soon as you tap on the horse sprites, they teleport off-screen and activate a switch. And when the switch activates, you win the game. Pretty simple stuff. Up next is Isaac Secret. Yeah, I don't know why I named it like that. This one has you guessing on the minimap where the secret and super secret rooms are. I'm not gonna lie, playing this microgame without context can be a bit confusing for new players. And to really shake up the gameplay, I could have randomized the room locations. Luckily, we'll see some randomization in those future microgames. Scatman is an interesting one. There are 5 piles of poop that randomly spawn around the screen, and you have to break all of them to win the game. This one's alright, but it could have used more variety with the sprites. Also, I completely butchered the randomization in that special poop, since I couldn't remember the intended method. But eventually, you'll see me using the random events correctly. Reroll, like the name suggests, has you reroll that god-awful first treasure room, and oh my god, you had chaos all along. This one is pretty cool at the time, but it eventually gets outshined by another microgame. This one is called Lost Child. It's actually an auto-generated microgame name too, so I just kept it in because it fit the whole Isaac theme. Your goal here is to cheat at that fuck-ass shell game. Looking back, the gameplay is bland as balls, but the interactions with the items was a fun touch. Tears Up has got to be one of my favorites. You have to help Isaac dodge the incoming paper tears. See what I did there? By tapping on Steven, you can change Isaac's position. Meanwhile, the tears fly right through Steven, just like how my coffee does in the morning.
What the fuck?
The way I had to set up the switches for Isaac's movement was a bit confusing at first, but I eventually got it to a point that I was comfortable with. Retrovision is a fun one. The picture above is randomly selected between Cricket's Head, Sacred Heart, and Magic Mushroom. However, the picture only reveals 9 pixels of the respective item, and your job is to guess which one it is. And since I did it correctly, I can show off how the random functions work. It's just a matter of setting time-based actions that'll activate different sprites. Ipecac. A very fitting name for how badly this game will make you want to vomit. The gameplay is decent, but the stage could really use some work. I tried. I really tried my best on the darkroom design, but the limits with the undos and color palettes only made it worse. And also, the room is on fire for some reason. It's best not to question the choices I made. Notched Axe is also pretty basic. The rock sprites turned out really good, especially with the palette limitations. However, the gameplay is literally just you tapping a bunch of rocks before the timer ends. But hey, maybe you'll find a trapdoor or two. Looking back, I could have assigned a few rocks to random locations, and even added a super secret rock that would take a few taps to break, just to shake up the gameplay enough to make it more enjoyable. Who am I? Man, this was almost the perfect minigame of the bunch. But unfortunately, it got too complicated for me to finish properly. Basically, you have to match Isaac's outfit with the corresponding character on the left. The game randomly picks between Maggie, Cain, and Judas as soon as it starts. You were supposed to freely cycle outfits, but the process became so damn confusing that I ended up with a questionable compromise. So each time you press the button, the outfit cycles based on the character's select order in Isaac. I even put a little indicator in the corner for new players. And once you make it to Judas's outfit, the button fucking explodes, so your decision has to be the correct one. Not the best solution, but it's better than nothing, I guess. This next one's also pretty shitty, but I thought the art style was a nice change. When the game starts, Isaac will either fall left or right, and you have to reposition the bed to prevent him from breaking every bone in his body. The original idea was to juggle Isaac between the two beds until the timer expired, but I just couldn't get it working to save my life. Polar Ruined is just like Reroll, but on every drug banned in the US. You have to collect pieces of the Polaroid as they bounce around the stage. Once collected, Isaac will admire the fixed photo. It's a pretty easy game until you play it at max speed, then it becomes fucking impossible. Looking back, that question mark panel was completely unnecessary. I had it there to cover up the Polaroid until you won the game, but there are so many better ways I could have gone about it. And this one just causes unwanted visual clutter. Hole in One is another minigame that I love. Isaac is constantly being dragged towards a pit, and by tapping on him it'll slightly boost him away, delaying the inevitable. I honestly wouldn't change anything about this minigame except for the background, but even then I was really happy with the result. The death animation is probably the best part too, and it was a super easy process thanks to the hilarious eraser animations. Holy Light returns the paper-drawn style. In this game, you have to drop the Bible on top of Mom. Missing her head will result in Isaac's sacrifice. I even added a little save file doodle when you win. Outlier was another banger, and yes, the game's description is a Deltarune reference. Oh my god! Your job is to locate and tap Tainted Lost during the Isaac Rapture trip. It's honestly pretty funny watching this army of the Lost ascending, like imagine the boss's POV of this shit. I think my favorite part of designing this microgame was the background. It was meant to look like those ghosts seen during the Beast fight, and I think they fit very well for the theme. Lil Gertie was one of those last-minute ideas I had for the final set of microgames. When the game starts, Gertie will move in a random direction and then launch around the room. Just tap on him and he'll start doing tricks on it crazy style. I also aimed for a cavern theme for the background, and I think this one turned out alright. Credit card. Don't even get me started on this dog shit microgame. A credit card moves around the stage, and you have to grab it before you buy Cricket's head. The worst part is, if you accidentally tap Cricket's head while going for the credit card, you'll lose. I know. Dumbest shit I've designed yet. Like, there are multiple ways this one could have been improved. Like, maybe I tap on a donation machine and the coins that fall out, something like that. Glitched Crown is last up on the microgame shelf. And honestly, this one turned out great. You wander into a treasure room with Glitched Crown, and your goal is to grab the Quality 4 item. Wait, no, don't grab Plant C! I was nervous about setting up the AI for this one, but it turned out to be way easier than I expected. Mainly because I looked at the Stop Lights AI just to see how it works, and the gameplay was very similar to what I was aiming for. And yes, I turned a pause into a button, it just had to be done. Originally, I was going to have the player tap the item instead of a button, but I was worried that I'd run out of slots for coding. Regardless of these changes, I was very content with the results. And those are the 18 Isaac microgames I made for this video. A lot of them turned out great, while your others turned out like your average AAA slop on release. I genuinely had a fun time making these games with the limitations of DIY, and it made for some interesting moments where I had to improvise and come up with alternatives, even if they weren't amazing. So honestly, if you want to see me remake Isaac in any other game mentions at some point, just let me know by leaving a comment down below. Also, like I very subtly hinted at before, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Not only does it help out the channel, but it lets you know when I upload goofy awe videos just like this one, which I do whenever I can. But that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed, and have a great rest of your day. Or night, or whenever you're watching this, honestly. It doesn't really matter.
Farewell, wicked earth, so long skies of blue.